Have you ever heard something scratching at your window at night, but when you looked, nothing was there? What if it kept happening? Same time, same sound, and then one day you saw something staring back. It started on a Wednesday, February 12th, cold as hell and quiet in the Pine Hills neighborhood, just outside of town. Most people kept to themselves. It wasn't the kind of place where you expected screams in the night, but that week the screaming started. Old Mrs. Beckett was the first. She lived alone at the edge of the neighborhood, closest to the woods. People said she'd started yelling about the wolf scratching at her walls. The sheriff checked it out. Nothing. Said she probably saw a coyote. 3 days later, she was gone. Not dead, just gone. Her front door left open. No sign of struggle, no blood. Just her dog, shaking under the table, teeth missing. People thought she wandered off. But then the Greames, who lived 2 houses down, reported something strange. Their backyard security camera caught something. Tall, not human, not animal, but blurred and fast. Long arms, a hunched back, and glowing eyes. The footage cut out after 11 seconds. That same night, all their trees were clawed deep, and something left tufts of gray fur on their porch. At first, neighbors whispered. Nobody wanted to admit they were scared. But by the end of that week, things got worse. Pets disappeared. Children complained of nightmares about a creature whispering their names. People heard howling, not high-pitched like a coyote, but guttural, broken, like something in pain. Lem Tavis, a quiet guy who fixed old clocks, started writing notes to himself. He told his sister he couldn't sleep without hearing growling. One morning he showed up at her place, shirtless, with his hands covered in dirt. He said he'd been digging holes in his sleep, trying to find the bones before the wolf does. A day later, Lem was found in his basement. His neck was broken, but the door was locked from the inside. After Lem, people stopped pretending it wasn't happening. 2 neighbors, Marla Yu and Edison Crane, decided to figure it out. They were both history teachers, smart, skeptical. They went to the county library, digging into old papers and land records. They found something strange. Over 80 years ago, that part of Pine Hills used to be called Gray's Hollow. It was farmland mostly, but one family owned the woods behind the neighborhood, a recluse named Talon Ray and his daughter Mira. Local legends said Myra vanished during a harsh winter in 1943. Talon had gone mad looking for her. He said something had taken her, something with yellow eyes. They say he carved strange symbols into trees, tried to trap whatever he thought took her. Then one night, his house burned down. No one ever found his body, but people started calling that patch of woods Wolf's Hollow. The name stuck. The stories faded. Until now. Marla and Edison kept digging. They talked to an old man who remembered the rays. He said people back then thought Myra was cursed, born during an eclipse, spoke to shadows, used to draw creatures with wolf heads and human hands. The man said Talon was trying to keep something away from her, something that lived in the trees, something old. He didn't finish his sentence, just stared at the floor. As the days passed, more people reported seeing the figure, lurking just beyond the tree line, always at dusk, always watching. One boy said it whispered his name. Another woman said it stood outside her window and mimicked her husband's voice. Then Edison went missing. Marla went to his house, found his notes scattered across the living room. One page had a single line written over and over. It wears the skin of the past. It's not a wolf. It's not a man. His front door was locked from the inside, but his bedroom window was open. A trail of claw marks led from the bed to the wall. His sheets were soaked in water, and something else, mud. Like whatever came in wasn't human. Now the neighborhood's breaking apart. People leaving. Some won't come out after sunset. Others are hearing voices, growls, even seeing things crawl across their ceilings at night. And always, always that name. The wolf. But here's the worst part. Marla found a page in a forgotten book at the library. The Hollowed Ones, Folk Terrors of Southern Valleys. It talked about a spirit that haunts places soaked in grief. It doesn't just kill, it remembers, it imitates. It hunts the mind before it hunts the body. Its form, sometimes a man, sometimes a beast, sometimes a wolf. And last night, Someone knocked on Marla's door. 4 slow knocks, just like Edison said in his last message. She lives alone. No footsteps, no car outside. And when she looked through the peephole, all she saw was yellow eyes staring back. Marla didn't open the door. She stood frozen, breath caught in her chest, staring into those yellow eyes through the peephole. Then they blinked. Slowly. Like whatever was outside knew she was watching, and it didn't care. It just waited. She backed away, grabbed the fireplace poker, and hid in her hallway until morning. But when she opened the door at sunrise, there was no sign of anything. No footprints, no scratches, just an envelope. Inside it was one of Edison's missing journal pages, soaked in some kind of oil. The ink smeared, but she could make out one line, written in trembling script. It feeds on memory. That's why it came back. We woke it up. By now, most of the neighborhood had emptied. Houses were quiet, windows boarded up. The air felt heavier. Marla said it was like something had settled over Pine Hills, something thick and mean, like grief with teeth. She tried to warn people online, posted in forums, messaged local news. No one took it seriously. A few trolls made memes out of it. Wolf Woman of Pine Hills. But then the reports started, not just in their neighborhood. The next town over, 2 kids vanished from a campsite. One was found days later, mute, eyes wide, repeating a name no one recognized. Myra. Marla kept researching. She was obsessed now. Sleep deprived, jumping at sounds. She stopped eating. One night she knocked on her cousin's door with dirt on her face and a notebook in her hand. The cousin, Toma, didn't know what to make of it. Marla had drawn a map of the old woods. She circled one spot deep in the trees. "It's where he buried her," she said. "Tolland. He didn't lose her. He killed her. He thought he was saving her from the spirit, but it made her part of it. She became the wolf." Toma thought she was breaking down, but Marla begged him to help her go there, said it had to end the way it started. So they went. Middle of the night, flashlights, shovels, salt, and an old mirror. Marla said the creature couldn't stand reflections. It mimicked, but it didn't understand being seen. They walked for nearly 2 hours, deeper than anyone dared go. The woods were dead silent. No birds, no wind, just snow crunching beneath their boots. Then they found it. A small clearing, stone markers in a circle, almost invisible under years of growth. In the center, an old well, half collapsed. Marla stepped close, said she could feel something moving below, like a breath rising up the stones. Then Toma saw it. Not a wolf, not exactly, but something gray and long, crouched at the edge of the clearing, watching. Its skin sagged like it had been stretched too far. Its mouth hung open too wide, and its eyes were hers, Marla's, except she was standing beside him. He turned to her. She was frozen, staring, tears in her eyes. "It's using me," she whispered. "It's showing me." She was never lost. She was never dead. Then it spoke. The thing across the clearing. Same voice, same pitch, same words. She was never dead. Toma threw the mirror at it. It screamed, a horrible, broken wail that split the trees. Marla shoved him aside, dropped to her knees by the well, and started pulling at the stones. "I have to bury her right," she said. "He didn't do it right. He left her mad." Toma wanted to run, but he couldn't leave her. So he dug, with his hands, with rocks, with anything he could find. Finally, they uncovered bones, small, child-sized, wrapped in pieces of old lace and animal hide. Marla took the salt and poured it over them, whispered something in a language he didn't know. Then she lit the notebook and dropped it in. The fire flared bright blue. The howl that came next was deafening. It felt like it shook the world. Birds scattered from trees. The sky turned black. And then, nothing. No wind, no sound. Marla was lying on the ground, eyes closed, breathing slow. Toma carried her out of the woods. Didn't stop, didn't look back. In the weeks that followed, the neighborhood seemed calmer. No more howling, no more disappearances. People started returning. The Greens boarded up their windows. Toma didn't talk much. And Marla, she wasn't the same. She stared out the window a lot. drew strange symbols on napkins. Some nights, she whispered in her sleep. Once she told Toma she hears Mara sometimes, that she's not angry anymore, that she just wants to be remembered. But last night, a new family moved into the Beckett house. They have a little girl, likes to play in the backyard. Toma saw her this morning. She was talking to something near the tree line, laughing. When he called out to her, she turned, and for a second, just a second, her eyes looked yellow.